Right now, as you watch this, the geopolitical fault lines of the Horn of Africa are shifting at a terrifying pace. Just days ago, a quiet but monumental shift occurred. Behind closed doors, Egypt and Eritrea finalized a massive maritime security architecture. But it's what's happening on the ground that has regional intelligence agencies on absolute high alert. Egyptian warships are positioning themselves along the Eritrean coast. Why? Because Ethiopia's federal government just declared that securing a permanent gateway to the Red Sea is an existential matter of national survival. For Eritrea, that is an existential threat. For Egypt, it is the perfect opportunity to encircle its greatest rival. This isn't just a local dispute over shipping lanes anymore. This is a Cold War turning blistering hot. We are talking about newly signed naval pacts, secret troop movements along the Ethio-Eritrean border, and a frantic scramble for the historic port of Assab. In this video, we are diving deep as investigative journalists into the classified maneuvers, the economic desperation, and the raw military power play that could trigger the next major war in the Horn of Africa. To understand why warships are moving, we have to look at the massive diplomatic choreography that just played out. In May 2026, a high-powered Egyptian delegation packed with military, intelligence, and transport officials landed in Asmara. Weeks later, Eritrean President Isaias Afwerki made his 7th official trip to Cairo to meet with President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. On paper, they signed a maritime transport agreement to establish a direct cargo shipping route, but foreign policy experts know how to read between the lines. Cairo and Asmara issued a joint declaration with a very specific, aggressive subtext. The security and governance of the Red Sea belong exclusively to the countries that touch the coast. Translate that out of diplomatic speech, and it means one thing: Ethiopia, stay away from the water. But Egypt isn't just sending diplomats, they are building infrastructure. Intelligence reports indicate that Egypt has secured agreements to upgrade berths, capable of hosting heavy warships, and refueling facilities for Egypt's southern naval fleet right there in Assab. For over a decade, Egypt has tried every diplomatic and asymmetric angle to stop Ethiopia's Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. By placing its navy at Eritrea's ports, Egypt now possesses a direct, knife-edge military leverage point just miles from Ethiopia's northern border. Now, let's look at this from Addis Abeba's perspective. Ethiopia is home to over 120 million people, making it the most populous landlocked nation on Earth. Its booming economy sits just 60 kilometers away from the Red Sea coast, yet it is completely at the mercy of third-party ports. Primarily Djibouti, which handles over 90% of its trade. Paying billions in port fees every year is an unsustainable economic chokehold. This is why, earlier this year, Ethiopia's leadership set off a regional earthquake by signing an MOU with Somaliland to lease a naval base in Berbera. But that deal triggered intense international pushback. So, Addis Ababa shifted its gaze back north to the port it lost 3 decades ago when Eritrea gained independence, Assab. The recent 2026 escalations show a rapid timeline of conflict. Early this year, Ethiopia sent an official letter accusing Eritrea of stationing troops inside Ethiopian territory. By March, investigative reports confirmed heavy military mobilization and troop deployments from both nations moving toward the shared border. And this June, Abiy Ahmed's security advisor told Parliament that returning to the Red Sea is an absolute matter of national survival. When Ethiopia calls the Red Sea a matter of survival, Eritrea hears one word: invasion. Here is where the story gets deeply complicated, and where the risk of an explosion multiplies. Neither Ethiopia nor Eritrea are operating in a vacuum. Internal instability is driving these leaders toward a dangerous external distraction. Let's look at the localized media reports coming out of the region right now. Inside Ethiopia, the federal government is fighting a brutal, multi-front domestic crisis. In the Amhara region, Intensive federal ground and drone operations are actively targeting Fano forces in North Shua, Gajem, Wollo, and Gondar. Meanwhile, political factions are publicly beating the drums of war, calling on the government to completely uproot and dismantle the TPLF in Tigray once and for all. And what is happening in Tigray? Despite the Pretoria peace agreement, local broadcasts report a massive surge in internal friction. TPLF leadership is facing heavy criticism for allegedly steering the population toward renewed military confrontation. Reports are emerging of fresh military drafts, checkpoints, and youth being funneled into training camps. This internal domestic chaos plays directly into Egypt and Eritrea's hands. Analysts point out that because Eritrea cannot afford a head-on, conventional war with Ethiopia's massive army, Asmara is collaborating with Cairo to fund, fuel, and exploit these asymmetric domestic conflicts inside Ethiopia. By keeping Addis Ababa bogged down fighting its own citizens in Amhara and Tigray, they ensure Ethiopia can never mount a cohesive push toward the coast. But wait, there is a global superpower element to this Red Sea chess match that nobody is talking about. Just recently, the U.S. State Department slapped heavy visa restrictions on regional leaders to force compliance with peace frameworks. Masad Boulos, a senior advisor to Donald Trump on Arab and African affairs, publicly backed these measures, signaling that Washington is losing patience with regional destabilization. But look at the map again. With Iran-backed groups testing U.S. naval presence in the Gulf and the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, Washington is quietly looking for stable partners along the actual African coast. There are active discussions among geopolitical scholars that the U.S. might eventually look to establish a footprint on the Eritrean coast to guarantee freedom of navigation. Eritrea, long isolated, is suddenly holding all the cards. Their 1,200 kilometers of coastline and the port of Assab have become the most valuable real estate in Africa. Whether through peace or through war, Assab's strategic value is skyrocketing. The pieces are set. Ethiopia is squeezed economically and fighting internal rebellions, yet its leadership insists that access to the sea is a right worth fighting for. Eritrea is rapidly breaking out of its historical isolation, backing its coast with Egyptian warships, ready to defend Assab at all costs. Is the Horn of Africa heading toward an unavoidable regional war, or will international pressure force a peaceful trade compromise for the port of Assab? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Does Ethiopia have a historical right to the sea, or is Egypt successfully containing them? If you want to stay ahead of the curve on the geopolitics of the Horn of Africa, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next investigation.